Wow. It's I live in Canada. That is outrageous. Should take advantage of it. Um, I plan on doing some groceries tomorrow, anyways. I'm taking a good walk around, and actually, I'm going to a concert on Friday to see a sort of doom prog act called Pinkish Black. That should be fun. Um, and actually, that should be a bit of an adventure out in Ferndale. For right now, it's about what is it, about 8 o'clock? Yeah, it's about 8 o'clock. I didn't wake up today until about 4. And see, this is more normal for me. This kind of cycle forward. And I'm getting right back at where I left off last night with the driver troubleshooting. I do think I can expect a resolution by the end of the night, one way or another. I'm going to have to run the script about, it looks like about 10, 15 iterations before I'm convinced I'm done. But I think I can probably get through most of it by the end of the day. Um, there's not going to be a lot here besides running through some more troubleshooting. All right, later. So it's 7:30 in the morning, and I've been experimenting with things for hours. And much to my chagrin, all of the evidence that I've been able to gather suggests to me that the new files are meant to sound thin on the bass. Or to rephrase that, it really almost has to be that I was mixing it with a broken system. And that while I want it to sound as though it has a thicker bass, it seems as though the actual data in the files is a thinner bass that I mixed it with, or that I intended it to sound like. So that actually suggests that there may have never been anything wrong with the system in the first place, and I've been wasting my time for months. Um, but what that means is that it's absolutely imperative that I find an objective playback source to determine what these files actually sound like, what the data in the files actually is. Um, I've been testing on the laptop a little bit, but I'm really sketchy with the playback on it. It's got one of those integrated HD cards in it, and they do weird things to audio streams. It's I can't I'm confident that it's not a clean source on the playback. So what I've done instead is I've just copied all of the files over to my MP3 player, um, which is just a cheapy little thing. I picked this up for like $50 at Future Shop like 10 years ago. Not quite 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago. It's a little 2 GB thing. Looks like one of those iPod Nanos, except that I am not a fan of Apple. I don't like proprietary software, and the great thing about this is that I plug it into a computer, and it just reads it like a USB key. No funny software, no forced libraries. At the time, the fact that there was no DRM was pretty nice to me. So it's just a little MP3 player, but I have a great deal of confidence that it's a clean source. And it does play WAV files, so I don't have to compress anything or anything. I can get a clean sound out of this. So that's what I'm going to have to do for the next little bit. It's not going to take me that long to figure out what's going on, but I do want to give it a good listen, so that I can sort of retrain my ears as to what this actually sounds like. Because, with all the testing and the hundreds of different driver combinations and everything else, I think I've kind of forgotten um, the way that it sounds, or the way that I haven't forgotten the way it's meant to sound, but I've forgotten the way that it actually sounds. So I need to train my ears to that so that when I go back to this, I can hear it and be able to get a valid sound on it. If I conclude what I think, which is that it sounded right in the first place, then I'm actually going to reinstall this machine again because I've done all kinds of weird things to it. And then I'll do the testing on an A/B, going back and forth. The truth is that this is what I should have done in the first place. I'm not entirely sure why it wasn't obvious to me, other than kind of a bias on the system and maybe an expectation that it should have sounded the way that I mixed it to sound. Um, that will mean I will need to redo all of these songs as well, but that's a necessity. I don't want it to sound the way I didn't mean it to sound. I want it to sound the way that I did mean it to sound. So that's gonna take me for a few hours, anyways. Um, and I'll see what I feel like and whether I want to do groceries today or tomorrow. Yeah, I'm definitely getting the weak signal out of the MP3 player. It's as clear as day. Um, I'm gonna see how close I can get on this machine without reinstalling it before I do. I didn't really do anything besides reinstall some stuff, disable some stuff. I think it should come back. And I'll need to do a little bit more comparing, but right now I'm going to eat, and I'll see if I've got my win back. But that's actually a pretty big breakthrough. Um, that the flat sound is the way it sounds, and I'll have to deal with that once the system's stable.